The gentleman yields back. I now recognize the gentleman from Virginia, Mr. Walkinshaw, for his 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to add to the condolences for the family and loved ones of Renee Good. She had 3 children, including a 6-year-old, who are all without their mother today. Mr. Chairman, thank you for convening today's hearing, and you beat me to the punch on the sports analogies. You are right that the best defense is a strong offense. I think it's still the case, however, maybe arguable, that defense wins championships. The Commanders have no offense and no defense, but I think both are still important. Yeah. A talented workforce combined with a federal IT infrastructure that embraces cutting-edge technologies, I think should be the foundation of our efforts to counter cyber threats and to maintain an offensive cyber posture or grow our offensive cyber posture. It does trouble me that last year, a third of the workforce, and this has been noted by others already at CISA, which is our leading agency to deter threats to both our cyber and physical infrastructure, was wiped out by DOGE. In the recent shutdown, staff at CISA received RIF notices. Turned out those notices were illegal, according to the courts. And a lot of them were moved to ICE and CBP to engage in immigration enforcement efforts. So these staffing cuts have left a big hole in our cyber defenses, our ability to combat attacks from Iran, Russia. The PRC has been noted. Mr. Bagley, in your written testimony, you analogized cyber security to physical security, and you made the point that in a city, even with a very successful crackdown on crime where law enforcement is going out and arresting the bad guys, still prudent to lock your door at night. And unfortunately, in my view, the firing of many of our cyber experts unlocks and opens some of our doors. So I'm hopeful that will be reversed. One of my concerns is the administration's elimination of the Multi-State Information Sharing and Analysis Center, which is a critical tool for decades for state and local governments, especially small rural local governments who maybe didn't have their own resources or capacity to have visibility into the cyber threats that they face. And I think it's the case that even if we want to be more aggressive in terms of our offensive cyber posture, we have to start from a place of visibility into the threats and cyber attacks that we're facing, especially state and local governments, which, as a former local government official, know a lot of the personally identifiable information of every single American is held by state and local government. So the loss of that capacity concerns me. I want to just dig in a little bit, and there's been a lot of agreement, but Mr. Lynn, you said in your testimony our offensive cyber utilizes bespoke teams, not at an industrial level, kind of limited in your view. Ms. Harding, you said the U.S. offensive cyber capabilities are strong, perhaps unmatched in the world. A little bit different analysis there. I only have 1 minute, so maybe I'll give you each 30 seconds to let me know whether you all disagree or agree.
Yes, sir. Not contradictory.
Okay.
What I would say is this, which is yes, we have some of the most talented cyber operators in the world, highly committed to the mission, very, very creative in terms of what they're able to pull off. I think we've seen perhaps a little bit of evidence of that in the last couple months. However, to what extent can they actually conduct those types of operations at scale? That is fundamentally what we're talking about here. Can they conduct those operations at speed and scale versus episodically, and in cases where, in those cases, okay, does it take months or perhaps even years of planning to be able to pull off what they did?
Okay, Ms. Harding?
Again, not contradictory, right? I think one interesting case study was the Symphony exercise that we did a few years ago against ISIS in Syria. You can read through that and see just how many layers of approvals had to take place in order for that operation to come off. Now, things have changed since then. But it's really important to note that it's not necessarily, I mean, you could have 100 people or you could have 10 people running an operation. If it takes them 4 months to get the approvals they need to actually execute on the operation, then the opportunity is going to go. They're going to miss it. So we are the most talented. We also, I think, need a more robust capability.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Gentleman yields back, and, to continue the sports analogy, I think we are when you look at cyber capabilities in this rebuilding phase, where we need that better collaboration. We need quality versus quantity. We need those force multipliers, which includes the private sector. That is the way forward. And with that, I recognize the gentleman